Hi guys, welcome back to part 2 where we will be analyzing the price action and also understanding the latest sentiments regarding a few financial instruments. So, as usual, we will be starting off with the US dollar index. The US dollar index will show us whether the US dollar was weakening, weakening, or whether the US dollar was strengthening. Okay, so the main idea about referencing the US dollar index is because whenever the US dollar is weakening, there is a high chance and a high correlation that other major currencies such as the UK pound or the euro dollar will be strengthening. Okay, so if you're a trader, it's always good to understand what has been happening before for the last few hours or the last few days, what is happening now, and it helps you to be able to forecast what is going to be happening later. Okay, so since the 25th of May, the US dollar has been on a bearish move. So it's been on a bearish move for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, 9 market days. Okay, 9 market days. So as of yesterday, we were looking at the US dollar being bearish. Number one, number two, the US dollar has been consolidating since last Thursday. Okay, so last Thursday we found this support, and last Friday it was also trading in a range. And as of Monday, okay, as of Monday, we can see that the US dollar was also trading in a range. And during yesterday's technical analysis video, we were analyzing again the US dollar at about 12 p.m. local Singapore time. Okay, here. So number one, when you're analyzing the US dollar, you could have drawn this horizontal resistance line based on this range. Okay, on the high side is 97.02, on the lower end would be 96.50. So we would know that from a bearish sentiment moving down, okay, the US dollar has now found some support and consolidating, going sideways. Okay, so it cannot continue to keep on going down without having a pause or without having some consolidation. So for the last few days, from Thursday, Friday, and also Monday, the US dollar was consolidating nicely. And yesterday, the US dollar moved up to test the resistance again at 97.02. So number one is to understand the chart patterns, what happened before, what is going on now, and where is it likely to go. Number two is the timing. It is very important to analyze and also take the trade when the volumes are high and when the chart patterns and the momentum or the price action is telling you is moving up or down. Okay, so the first significant indicator in terms of timing was in the morning session yesterday at about 400 hours. If you're in Malaysia or Singapore, you need to add 5 hours to this. So 4 plus 5 would be 9. So at 9 in the morning, it was moving up a little bit. So being the Asian trading session, usually the sentiment or the momentum or the influence is not as large as the influence from the UK and US trading cycles. Okay, so Asian trading session, number one. Number two is the UK trading session, which over here, when you put your mouse over here, you can see the time below, 900. So 900, you need to add 5 hours again. If you're in Malaysia or Singapore, if you're in another country, you need to add a certain number of hours based on your local country. Okay, so the easiest way to understand how many hours to add is you move it on the H1 chart, and then you move your cursor to the latest candle. So for example, this one will show a reading of 800 hours. Okay, and being in Singapore and Malaysia, the local time now is 1 o'clock. So when you see the server time as 800 hours in your local country, and depending on your local time, so to reach 1 o'clock, which is 1300, I will need to add 5 hours to the server time of 8, and I will get 13, which is the local time in Singapore and Malaysia. Okay, so you need to adjust this to your local time in whichever country you are at. Okay, so to get some parameters on and get some structure to your trading. So support and resistance lines, and of course the US dollar strengthening at 2 p.m. So as it strengthens up, you'll be very careful about buying the US dollar if it starts to test the resistance. In fact, you'll be looking more for a sell on the US dollar. So considering that we are looking in at 2 p.m. and the UK pound started to move up and only started to go down over here at about 4 p.m. onwards. So if you are anticipating that the US dollar will weaken, then you will be also anticipating that the UK pound should strengthen. Okay, so in this case, let us just say the US dollar strengthens at 2 p.m. and also later on at about 7 to 9 p.m. It started about here. The major move at about 1500 plus 5 is 2000 hours. This is 8 p.m. local Singapore time. The US dollar moves down. Okay, so when you look at the UK pound, we can see a similar story. Number one, the UK pound was strengthening over the last couple of days and has been trading in a range for one day. This is Monday, and also this is last Friday. So for yesterday, again, you can see that the UK pound started Tuesday morning by moving up, but be very careful about buying whenever some traders may buy the UK pound if they see that the UK pound has broken through the resistance. Some traders may buy over here. Okay, as you can see, that is not a very good way to trade, as after moving up about 33 pips, it starts to weaken back and go down about 110 pips. Okay, so be very careful about buying all these breaks at the tip. Okay, and for yesterday, as we can see, with the US dollar strengthening in a Asian trading session, and also okay over here the Asian trading session and also the UK trading session, we can see that the UK pound has been weakening. Okay, so it weakens again in the Asian trading session. The UK pound weakens against the US dollar, initially coming down by about 34 pips, and towards the afternoon session, you can look at the time again. Below is 900 hours plus 5 is 14, 2 p.m. local Singapore time. The UK pound moves down from 1.2714 and goes down for 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, moving down all the way to the bottom, 1.2617. Okay, so the UK pound moved down about 99 pips. So it's a beautiful move, whether you got in early in the Asian trading session or during the UK trading session. You could have made easily 30, 40, 50 pips out of the 99 pips movement. Okay, so as it came down also, you can see that it formed support just touching this line before consolidating for about 2 hours, and then started to move up at about time below 1400 plus 5, it is 1900 hours, 7 p.m. okay, local Singapore time, and the UK pound starts to go back up. Okay, so it went up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, moving up a total of about 104 pips. Okay, so very nice day for trading yesterday. The UK pound in a very nice and clear consolidating phase, but even in the consolidation phase, we can still find opportunities to catch easily 30 to 40 pips movement, because it came down about 110 pips in the Asian and UK trading session, and it went back up about 105 pips during the US trading session. Okay, so what this tells me is that in the Asian and UK trading session, the traders, especially in Asia and the UK, are of the opinion that the US dollar is strengthening and the UK pound is weakening. However, when it comes to the US trading session, it is their opinion that the US dollar is weakening and the UK pound is strengthening. Okay, so that is sentiments can change very fast. So whether you're trading during the morning, the Asian cycle, the UK cycle, or the US cycle, you need to be aware of their influence and their impact, and sentiments and directions can change pretty fast. Okay, so as of this morning, the UK pound is still relatively quiet, testing this latest high again. Okay, over here, and it is just about slightly bullish at about up 34 pips. So it's gone quiet, so we need to have a look and see later on in the afternoon 2 to 4 p.m. or the evening 7 to 9 p.m. to see where the chart patterns and also price action is leading. Okay, same story for the euro dollar. Euro dollar has been consolidating for last Friday and also on Monday, and for yesterday again, as you can see, as the US dollar was strengthening in the Asian and UK trading sessions, the euro dollar was weakening during the Asian trading session at about 4 plus 5 9 a.m. all the way until this one is at okay, this one will be at 1100 hours plus 5 16, which is 4 p.m. local Singapore time. So from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. the euro dollar moved down about 62 pips. Okay, so and towards the US trading cycle, it starts to move up pretty early. This one is at 1300 plus 5 is 18 6 p.m. starts to move up, and it follows through over here at 8 p.m. Okay, it starts to go up, so it goes up a total of to a high of 1.1360, and it went up 98 pips. Okay, so again you can see the difference, or you can see the importance of analyzing each cycle and to understand the latest sentiment, chart patterns, and relevant news, if any news, before you take a trade. Okay, so do not assume that you took a trade for a sell in the Asian trading session, it goes down, it follows your prediction. You took a trade in the UK trading session, it follows your prediction. However, when the new session starts, for example in this case the US traders and participants again are of the opinion that the US dollar is weak and the euro dollar is stronger. Okay, so so you need to understand each cycle and understand the latest sentiment and movements. Okay, so for gold prices, it is on a bullish run ever since last Friday's low over here. Last Friday, after the non-farm payrolls announcement, gold prices touched a low of 1,670 over here on the right. Okay, so ever since that low, I would say that it recovered pretty nicely over the last few days, pushing up on Monday and Tuesday. And for yesterday, gold prices started to move up. This is the one at about 1000 hours plus 5 15, which is 3 p.m. local Singapore and Malaysia time. It goes out the first cycle about $14, and during the evening at about 1500 plus 5 2000 hours, it goes up another $16. Okay, so gold prices moved up about 26 US dollars total yesterday. Again, you don't have to catch all the $25 movement. As long as you can catch anything from $5 movement in gold prices, that will be a good trade for the week actually. Okay, and as you can see, gold prices is now going quiet, and it's possibly going to wait for later on in the evening, especially for the US participants to come into the market, and also leading up towards the FOMC meeting minutes. FOMC meeting statement announcement at 2 a.m. local Singapore time. Okay, so just another confirmation. If you look at the H4 charts, you will also see that gold prices has touched a recent high over here, 1,720, and you can say that it's forming a double top here. So be very careful about buying now. You need to see later on when it's closer to the UK and US trading sessions, what are the volumes, what are the chart patterns coming into play, and also how the price action is responding. Okay, so this may look familiar to some of you also. You can see that the gold prices is moving up on this trend line and is finding resistance on this horizontal resistance line, and it is squeezing into a triangle. Okay, so I would say that it will squeeze to roughly about again the UK and US trading session, and it will definitely have to break up or break down. Okay, so these are the things to look out for. And for oil prices has been consolidating also ever since touching a high of about $40.50, and so you can see oil prices has been going up ever since the 21st of April, from a low of $9.84 to a recent high of $40.50. Okay, so on the H1 charts yesterday, it also looked like this, coming down during the UK trading session and then recovering during the US trading session. Okay, So yeah, oil price should be consolidating for a while before deciding where to go next, whether it's up or down. And of course, finally, S&P 500. S&P 500 again is still relatively on a bullish note. It's been bullish for a while. And in terms of the daily movements, yesterday it was also moving down after finding some resistance over here. Okay, after finding some resistance over here, it moved down at about in this case at about 2 p.m. local Singapore time, and it also found some very nice support over here. Okay, and then it finally recovered towards the end of the trading session. Okay, so that is the latest price action movements in terms of chart patterns, in terms of sentiment. As you can see, the US dollar at the moment is starting to move down a bit, but yeah, you'll see what happens later. Okay, so US dollar is moving down a bit, euro is starting to move up, the UK pound is also starting to move up. Okay, and gold prices is just moving a little bit. So yeah, so these are the latest updates in terms of news and also price action and sentiment. So I hope you guys have a slightly better understanding of how to make use of news and also sentiment and also chart patterns to help you look for a good trade. Okay, so always remember this: for you to be able to forecast a good direction for your trade, you need to know what to look out for. Okay, so have a good trading day ahead, and I'll see you again tomorrow.